You are now watching a clip from the Inspired by show. You can watch the full episode on our YouTube channel or listen on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. So make sure to head over there, leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed it, and follow the show. And speaking of love, I'm very grateful that I love what I do, but there's also things that I hate about the industry that we've experienced. And one of the things that I've noticed is a lot of people are using NLP in not the most ethical manner.
Right.
You've obviously experienced it from when you first wanted to learn it in sales. I'm talking more about people who are in the media, on news, politicians.
Yep.
What's your views of people who are learning this, but maybe not thinking about the power and the impact it's having?
Yeah, I think, can NLP be misused? Yeah. Anything that can be, somebody gets stabbed by using a screwdriver. They go, we need to ban all screwdrivers. Well, no, you can do useful things with screwdrivers, like putting shelves up, things like that. So I think I hear people go, oh, NLP is manipulative. NLP can't be manipulative because it's a set of tools and techniques. So what's the difference that makes the difference? It's the person's intention. And, you hear the people say, there's 4 quadrants, lose, lose, win, win, win. If we looked at the long term, I think there's only 2. Lose, lose, and win, win. Because, if I do something and your perception is that I won and you lost, we're not going to be doing business again. If we do something and my perception is you won and I lost, then we're not going to do business again. So really, win, lose, lose, win is actually the same as lose, lose in the long term.
Of course.
So therefore, the thing to do is always to have the intention of using NLP or timeline therapy or hypnosis with the intention of empowering other people. Then you've got a true win-win, and that's when you play the long game, if you like.
Yeah, definitely.
And you're quite right. I do see people in our industry, but also in the media, who are using NLP. I know a number of very, very famous people in politics, for instance, are highly trained in NLP. One time there was a rumor that I trained them. I didn't. But then I would have to say that I had trained them. And they use it in a way for them to win and other people to lose, which is what I would call unecological. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I agree with you, and I've seen it. And I don't know if you agree here, David, but when you've been trained in something, it's very hard for you to not see it. So it's a bit like when I watch the news now and I can see someone and what they're saying is, oh no, I understand, you can approach me, and they're going like this, very simple, don't come near me, be quiet, stop. Body language. Yep. Now, that is like the bare basics, basics. And I think one of the things that we can all do, in my opinion, is get knowledgeable and get trained, because then you're less likely to be manipulated.
Yeah, it kind of inoculates you.
Exactly, like a vaccine.
Yeah, like a vaccine. Yeah, like a mental vaccine. And you're quite right. Once I quite often think, because then you've probably heard in NLP, there's these things called eye accessing patterns, where a person moves their eyes and they move their eyes in a particular direction, depending on how they're thinking inside, whether they're thinking in pictures or sounds or feelings. Once you learn eye patterns, you can never not see them ever again. Yeah, you see them everywhere. And I sometimes go, did people have eye patterns before I learned NLP? And there's no way you'd ever be able to prove that one way or the other. It's like Schrodinger's cat and the observer effect. But it then does, as you quite rightly say, you go, okay, I know what this person's doing. And either, another thing, NLP is manipulative. Well, if you went to see a chiropractor and they didn't manipulate you, you'd be annoyed. Or if somebody came to you and said, I can manipulate you, I can brainwash you to become a multimillionaire in a week, I'd sign up.
Yeah.
If you're with someone and you go, okay, they're doing NLP or whatever it is, and I trust their intention, I'll go with it. But if I go, okay, they're using NLP and I'm not okay with the intention or their purpose in doing it, then you can block it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you say, it's like the vaccine that you can then notice. And I find it fascinating, especially you mentioned the eye accessing patterns. And I know for anyone that's not into NLP, you'll be going, what the hell are they talking about? But I find it fascinating. People just, they don't understand it because they've heard it on a podcast or on a show or the TV. And they go, oh, that person looked to the left. They must be lying.
Right.
You know, and it's that understanding of, no, we're not that simple creatures. You need to understand the science and the person, right?
Yep. Yeah. So, just to fill in the gaps for some people, if somebody's right-handed and they're remembering something that they've seen, they will tend to look up to their left. If they're constructing a picture in their mind, then they'll tend to look up to their right. And so there's this myth in NLP that if you say to your partner, so what did you do last night? And they went, I went to the pub with my friends. You're lying. But it's not as simple as that. In that, one is somebody who's left-handed will tend to look up there when they're remembering something. And then there's other things with eye patterns. So can you use NLP to calibrate on a particular individual when they're telling the truth and when they're lying? Yes, you can. But it's not as simple as just looking at the first place they move their eyes.
Exactly. It's like looking at someone who has an illness, right? You have to look at the whole body to say, actually, what is the cause of this illness? It's the same concept with NLP. You have to look at the whole thing, which is why we talk about body language being a big part of communication.